So today we are diving into something really special. It's a form of sacred art from 13th century Japan. And it's basically a single scroll of calligraphy that just completely upends our whole idea of what art is supposed to be and what it's for. And it all starts with one single, really profound question.
I mean, seriously, what if a piece of art wasn't just a picture of some sacred world, but an actual doorway into it? This is the wild idea at the very heart of the object we're exploring today, which is known as the Gohonzon.
And right away, we hit this central paradox. I mean, think about it. Most of the religious art we know uses images, right? Statues of the Buddha, icons of saints, paintings. But this mandala, which was created by a monk named Nichiren, it only uses written characters. There are no pictures at all, just these sacred names laid out in a very specific pattern. So, how in the world can a page of text be a profound object of devotion?
To get our heads around this, we have to travel back to the 13th century and meet this monk, Nichiren. His decision to create art out of text was totally radical for his time. But here's the thing, it was also this brilliant return to a much, much older Buddhist idea.
You see, for hundreds of years after the Buddha's life, artists just felt that no statue, no painting could ever really capture the full reality of what enlightenment is. So instead, they used symbols, like footprints, to show the path he walked, or an empty throne to suggest this presence that was too vast for any physical image. They were using absence to point to something enormous.
And that gets us to the core of Nichiren's genius. He chose calligraphy not to represent a sacred reality, but to actually embody its living presence. These written characters aren't a picture of something holy. The idea is that they are the holy thing itself, right there on the page in ink.
Okay, so if it's not a picture, then what is it? Well, the first layer here is to understand that this scroll of calligraphy is actually a map. It's a very precise, sacred diagram of this massive cosmic event that's described in one of Buddhism's most important texts, the Lotus Sutra.
And this event is called the ceremony in the air. The story is incredible. A giant, jeweled treasure tower erupts from the earth. The Buddha opens it up and sits right beside another Buddha who's been waiting there for eons. And then he lifts the entire crowd, everyone listening to him, up into the sky. It's this mind-bending vision of a timeless dimension where enlightenment is revealed to all beings.
Nichiren's real genius was to take this epic scene and turn it into a kind of sacred geography. Right down the center, like a powerful spine, you have the sacred title, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, that represents the treasure tower itself. On either side of it are the names of the two Buddhists sitting inside. Surrounding them, you have the great bodhisattvas, and then guarding the four corners are the four heavenly kings, with two powerful wisdom kings protecting the very entrance. It's a whole world on paper.
But here's where it gets truly amazing. This map isn't meant to just be, read or admired from a distance. It's actually designed to function as a portal, a gateway that helps you transform this 2D piece of paper into a full-on 3D experience.
The practice itself is both simple and incredibly deep. A person sits in front of the Gohonzon and chants that central phrase, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, and in that moment of focus and devotion, something is meant to shift. The flat paper becomes this three-dimensional world in your consciousness. Your awareness passes that threshold guarded by the wisdom kings, and you enter the cosmic scene. And the effect is so direct that Nichiren himself put it this way. Through the act of chanting, the distance between you and the Buddha just collapses. You're no longer just an observer sitting in your room. You are an active participant floating in space, right there inside the treasure tower with them. Scholars actually have a name for this, ritual mandala embodiment. But what it really means is that this practice collapses time and space. It makes that timeless, transcended dimension from the sutra something you can experience right here, right now. The calligraphic space literally becomes a cosmic dwelling, and you're not just visiting, you're a resident.
So we've got a map and we've got a portal. But believe it or not, there's a final and even more profound layer to this whole journey. The ultimate destination. It isn't some external cosmic ceremony. It's actually a journey inward.
I mean, after traveling across this whole sacred map and going through this mystical portal, where do you actually arrive? The answer is probably the most radical part of Nichiren's entire teaching.
And this is where Nichiren just completely flips the script. His most powerful instruction was this entire cosmic assembly, this incredible treasure tower, all of these enlightened beings, they aren't somewhere out there. He taught that the entire Gohonzon exists within your own life. And that is the ultimate purpose. The mandala functions as a mirror. It's not showing you something you're missing. It's reflecting back to you the limitless potential, the Buddha nature that is already inside your own heart. Chanting to it becomes an act of awakening the courage, the wisdom, and the compassion that are already yours.
And to make this connection even more intimate, Nichiren said that he literally poured his own life state into the sumi ink. So this makes the mandala more than just art, more than just a diagram. It's a living transmission. It carries the awakened condition of its creator directly to the person who engages with it.
Okay, so let's just pull all of this together. We've gone on this journey from seeing this strange scroll of calligraphy to understanding it as a map, then a portal, and finally as a mirror of our own deepest, most powerful potential. The shift in perspective is just total. I mean, from the outside, it's two-dimensional paper, but when you engage with it from the inside, through practice, it becomes a three-dimensional cosmos. You stop being a viewer, and you actually become a participant in a living reality.
You know, it's pretty incredible when you think that this 800-year-old creation is so conceptually modern. It completely dissolves the boundary between the art and the person experiencing it, which is exactly what the most cutting-edge, immersive, and interactive art installations are trying to do today.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. The Gohonzon suggests this really radical purpose for what art can be. Maybe its highest function isn't just to show us some beautiful or fascinating new world out there, but to give us a tool to finally see and awaken the magnificent world that already exists right inside of us.